Welcome back, guys, to another podcast. We got Ryan here. Ryan, if you guys don't know, he is a real estate guru pretty much. He is a young millionaire, correct?
Correct.
So we're just kind of going to go over his lifestyle pretty much and kind of what got him started, where he spent his money, what his future goals are, and kind of a little bit about that. So I don't know if you want to break in and kind of tell us your age, where you're from.
Yeah. 24 years old. I was born in Illinois, moved out here when I was young. So I basically spent most of my life out here. Sucked at school, didn't want to go to college, thought real estate was a good option. Just wanted to fail forward. So I was a sponge, kind of learned as much as possible from as many people. Took the good, left the bad, made a lot of mistakes. And then 6 years later, went from being a traditional agent to now I'm an investor. I go in, I can fix and flip properties. I've got some rentals. I do private money lending.
A little bit of it all.
Yeah, pretty much Swiss Army knife.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So did you drop out of high school completely? Or
no, so I finished high school,
Okay.
graduated in 2016. I did like 2 community college classes, but one of them dropped me. The other one I did pretty well in. But
okay. So when did you realize that you were kind of good at real estate stuff? It does take I think that
it's such a tough question because like people say that, and there's times where I'm like, I still have so much to learn.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that I think I finally started clicking it like year 4. I wasn't a traditional agent too much at that point. It was all referral, but it was more of, I found my path. I'm known as the guy that gets deals on market and working with other real estate agents. So that was like the path that I really dove into year 4, and I was able to make a full-on business model from just that strategy.
That's awesome.
I think I saw you click in, what was it? Maybe like in that mastermind end of 2019, early 2020. It just found like you had a few good months, and I just saw like almost your self-belief kind of clicked in.
Dude, that's it.
And you got kind of dialed in. It was the MLS thing, but I just saw a turnover from you kind of being like, I'm going to try this, kind of hope I can make some money doing it. Then you got a few big months and you're like, dude.
I turned like what Brent says, faith to fact. I think that's like really, really important for a lot of people, because if you don't see this kind of money, like you don't know what to expect. So when I was able to start putting together, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row of 100K plus a month, dude, our monthly overhead was like less than $5,000. So when we're looking at profit margins, I'm like,
that's insane.
we ran last year 93%. So 93% profit margins, a good healthy business is 15, 20%. If you're really, really, really good, 30 to 40%. So what we ran last year was just, I don't even know if it's mathematically possible again, honestly, but it was definitely eye opening, and it just made me realize that was the route to go.
So when you saw your first like big paycheck, I'm sure there's one that you will always remember, right?
Yeah.
And how old are you roughly when that hit?
I don't know. I think I was like 21, maybe 22. It was like a $75K check, and then plus like a $35K commission on top of it. So.
And how'd that make you feel? Like, were you like,
dude, honestly,
this is it?
I feel like I did dumber stuff with like smaller checks. Like that big one came in, and I feel like at that point I was a little bit more responsible. Okay. So I was like, all right, 30 grand of this is going to go away in taxes. Put X amount away for this. And then, you go buy a couple clothes, go out to a nice dinner or something like that. But I didn't really like go and spurge all that money.
That's awesome. So no crazy cars, nothing yet?
No, so, I bought a house 2020, right during the pandemic. Gained like $250,000 of equity in like a year and a half. So it was like stupid. So I've got that. It's a pretty nice house for a first home.
That's awesome.
But aside from that, I'm not really a car guy. Like I've looked into a few different options, the Audis, Mercedes, BMWs.
Yeah.
But I just keep going back to my truck. Got my F-150. It's nice and easy, especially being in real estate.
Yeah.
Move stuff around. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely keep it pretty low profile for someone.
I'm showing up in
as young and successful as you, right?
Beat up shoes and everything.
I don't see too many. Do you have any fancy watches?
I've got a couple Rolexes, yeah.
Okay, you got it right. I thought I remember you getting that Rolex.
Apple Watch.
Yeah, and I got my Apple Watch on. It's just this is the style I go with. I want people in my business and my building to basically just have the go with the flow mentality. Kind of similar to you guys have as this vibe is.
Yeah.
I don't need to be corporate. I don't need anyone going in trying to be business professionals, and they know what they need to do on a day-to-day basis. What you wear, just be professional. If somebody shows up, you're not wearing a shirt that has like a big middle finger on it, anything like that. But I'm pretty easygoing. I think a lot of like what I've been able to kind of instill within my operation, my culture, is the young generation can thrive because they're not told what to do 24/7. Like even during the day today, my team knows what needs to get done. I don't need to go there and like watch over their shoulder and make sure they're doing everything.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's huge. Like having trust in your team to make sure they're going to execute on their own. And I think
for sure
another thing is you being casual and a little more laid back. It allows there's no egos. The egos get dropped no matter where you are, and that allows your team to be on the same level as you, and they're going to perform the best.
For sure. And dude, it's tough. I mean, we could talk about the ugly. The real estate side, where ego and entitlement, that's something I talk about all the time. Like, it's very strong in real estate. I mean, I even just went through that recently with some things with my team, where I had to restructure, realign, and figure things out. The other part of it too, where I let them be, they're 1099. Like, they're not W-2 employees. So they are technically self-employed. They have to go out and they have to want to be there. And if I create a culture where people are feeling as if like, I'm self-employed, but I have to be told what to do and what I need to do by the hour, they're not going to stay. So there's a high turnover rate in real estate. What I found is your vibe attracts your tribe. So just put out what you want in the world and the rest will come back. People that aren't supposed to be there, they're out. People that are going to be there long-term, they'll stay.
I like that.
In the last 6 months, obviously the market's changed drastically. How's your turnover changed right now? Or
yeah, so this is exactly when turnover happens. Shift happens. People want to go, and I would say right now, shiny object syndrome is the very easy next big thing. We had to have 2 people on the team that were pretty big pieces of it, and they stepped away. So they had to go and do other things. They want to go into a different avenue of real estate. Wish them nothing but the best, and I'll support whatever I can. I actually went out of my way to introduce them to other people that I thought would be good fits for their operation. But turnover is definitely real. What it goes back to, though, is the vibe of attracting your tribe. Over the last 2.5 years, I've had little to no turnover. We've had to get rid of a couple bad apples here and there, but for the most part, 95% stayed. Over the last 6 months, the market shift, there's a lot of people that are trying to go and find that next get rich quick scheme. What's the next thing I could go do to invest $100,000 in and get 250 back? And I'm like, flips aren't like that anymore. It's not easy.
Oh, I know firsthand, for sure.
Yeah, dude, we all know it's tough times. I've been building my team. I started building my team after having a ton of success just kind of by myself with my partner Steve out in Jersey.
Yeah.
I know but I started building my team 6 months ago. Right when we had
best time.
Right, two good months. At least we had a few good months, so they saw what is possible.
Right.
But what I've learned, and it's not easy, but to you said, sometimes I'm like, hey guys, you gonna fucking be here? I'm the first one in the office, last one out every day. But they're 1099, and if they're not making a ton of money, it's hard to keep those people.
For sure.
You can't tell them what to do per se. They have to be self-motivated. But I've been trying to find people that don't need that next paycheck per se. Maybe they've made a lot of money in a corporate thing, and no matter what, they just don't want to go back to that life, or they have intrinsic value of trying to be a part of something and build something up. Because I think if you're, if you have people on your team right now that are just looking for that next buck, they're not going to be around too long.
It's tough because real estate's such a long game. If somebody's coming in trying to make money now and then exit in 6 months, it's not going to work anyway. I don't know. It's a really tough balance between the two. What I also have as a mentality is that the people that are there, I want them there. I don't need them there. And I don't say that as some douchey, arrogant asshole. I say that as if I have a skill set that I can go and acquire deals without any dollars in marketing. And even if worst case scenario in a year, I did 25 deals, which I know I could do very easily. 25 deals in a year will pay me $250,000. I'm fine. So it goes back to, it starts at the top. You have to be able to show the team, lead by example. And fortunately, a lot of the people on the team, they were there during the good months. So they got to see the 35, 40 deals in a month off the MLS with nothing in marketing. On top of that, we pay pretty well. So then it just comes back down to the person. At the end of the day, you can't force somebody to be there. You have to make them have a community around them and a culture where they want to be there. So
how many people are on your team right now?
We've got, I always get a weird answer for this. It's 8.5. We got a couple part-time people that here and there type thing. But full-time 8. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I want to dive into your course a little bit too, because you created a course, correct?
Yeah.
What exactly? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure.
How'd that all come about?
It's Agent Investors. This is my pride and joy out of everything that I've done and accomplished, all the big deals, magazines, all that kind of stuff. This is the thing that I have the most pride in. This is, as I started connecting pieces, our community grew. And now I don't like going out and saying I started this agent movement, but there's a very clear path that everybody in real estate's trying to go. Yeah. And it's working with agents, it's working on market deals. Not saying that the other strategies don't work. It's just not as easy as it was. So of course, going to the strategy where there's little to no money in marketing is a route you could go to be able to have longevity in the industry. So what we created within Agent Investors, it's basically a community where
you got done right now. I like it.
I basically teach investors how to work with agents, but then I also teach real estate agents how to become the investor. So agents are getting hit up by investors all the time. Why aren't the agents becoming the investor and wholesaling and doing their own deals? Yeah. And then the investors that are sending texts out to agents. Yes, everybody's doing that right now. How can you stand out? What can you do differently? What other strategies can you do to get inbound leads from other agents? Yeah. So we created kind of like a safe space where agents can come to learn how to do this, but then also where investors can go and get their what they think is low-hanging fruit. What I haven't really gotten too loud about on social media yet is that the investment side is what we basically tailored the course to at the beginning. Yeah. I did that strategically because most of the people that I have as connections are in the investment world. Yep. However, this strategy and the people that are the best with using this are real estate agents. Yep. So if I can now be able to tailor this more to the agent side, I'm basically trying to create a community where agents and investors can do deals together.
That's dope.
So
that's awesome. How long have you been running that for?
We have been officially up since April 1st, and then we just passed over 300 students.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
And I know you launched it. It's been going really well. I feel like not only a course, but really building a community. I know, Justin, you obviously have a ton of experience building a community with LPP. What do you kind of define? What makes a successful community and a course really taking off versus just like I dropped a course, didn't do too much in sales, but I didn't really build a community, and I felt like that was lacking.
So I think it starts with the community. You always have to lead with value first. And I did this with every relationship when I first got in real estate. It was, I can come and work for free. I'll be discounted, do whatever. Like, I don't care, abuse me. I just want to learn how to do this. So I had to understand that if I led with value first in those relationships, the same thing applied to the community. If I'm going to put myself first and do this as just a way to get money, I'll be in and out and canceled and within 10 minutes. Like that's not what this is about. I think that it came from me not having the ego. I mean, I'm 6 years in. I know a lot of people that could be in the industry for a couple of years, 2-3 years, that all of a sudden claim they're gurus. Like at the beginning intro, I appreciate you saying I'm a guru. I'm a student. I'm not a guru. Okay. I've got a skill set in the industry and I'm very good at what I do, but I'm far from where I want to be. And so I try to lead with almost full transparency. If I go in and tell them, look, I don't have the answers to everything. In this strategy and method specific to agent outreach and MLS deals, very, very humbly, I will tell you that I am probably one of the better ones in the industry at this. Now, if you're going to go want to learn direct to seller, creative finance, stuff like that, and you're in my course, I don't have your answers, but what I do have is connections and resources to people that do have those answers. So I think it's just a place where people can go and be vulnerable and not have the expectation that you have to try to be somebody that you're not. I think that's the other problem with real estate, and I mean a lot of people in any industry, but especially younger generation too. You're trying to impress people with money you don't have, and it's like I forget how the whole saying goes. It's like you're trying to impress people you don't even like with money you don't even have, buying things you don't even want. It's the same concept to real estate. It's the same concept to the community. You don't need to be flashy. You just need to be real. So I think I've done a good job keeping everything authentic, and then the community has just been honestly blowing up. Everyone's trying to help each other. People all throughout the country. Good vibes.
Yeah, I love that. We've talked about that too. Just it's almost like the stigma with realtors, how they got to pull up in the suit and the fancy car.
Oh, yeah, they use BMW. Yeah.
and then investors pull up looking like shit, and they're the ones with a net worth of a few $1 million, and the agents
for sure
$30,000 in real estate, and they're trying to impress everybody.
That's it. Well, dude, it's a shitty game because traditional real estate, it actually is like that. When you show up as a realtor to show a house to a client, if it's over $500,000 and the client's car is nicer than yours, there's judgment. And it sucks, and I'm not trying to contradict my point, but it's just like
no. We said too.
I can see
there's
that,
a reality
sure.
when it comes to even like
perception.
Even trying to build a audience on social media. We've talked about, hey, as much as you said like you don't have a nice car or whatever. I bet you if you got some sick car that obviously you could buy in cash, I know it probably would help.
Oh, absolutely.
Your brand and build up your credibility for people that don't know you. Now, is that the way the world should work? We're all saying that's pretty corny and it shouldn't be like that, but reality is
like that.
It is. And I mean, it's the same thing with why people go out and they do the bottle service and the card. I mean, we've all done bottle service. We've gone together. But like, it's funny because it's the people that shouldn't be doing it that usually do.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. The reason I haven't, I told you I was looking at cars and stuff, and the thing that I just went against was it's not me. And also I don't know shit about cars. So like,
talk to this.
It's different. I agree with you completely. It's hard. Even I have other friends that have been successful in real estate that don't have a passion in cars or something like that. I feel like just a lot of people in our generation, for me personally, I have a huge passion in cars. So that's something that really gets me off. Sure. You know, and I work to go and be able to go do that stuff. But there's a big majority of people that will just do it just to say they have it. Like you going out and buying a Lambo, for example, just to say you have a Lambo, that Lambo's not going to put a smile on your face.
For sure.
Where for me, I'll wake up every morning and start that thing with the biggest smile, of course, ear to ear, you know, but it's completely different. For sure. Know, so.
And I mean, and I say all the like fancy things. I mean, I've got the watches. Like that's something that I know, like I looked at it as like an investment. It could go up in value over time. And also I've always just liked wearing a watch. So when I go out to like nice vacations, restaurants.
You got to hit him up with Mr. Drip.
Yeah.
We had a jeweler on the podcast who brought in, dude, like all these pieces. He had like $500,000 of jewelry on the table.
Yeah, I love it. So you say you don't like cars. Let's just say, what are you working for? What motivates you to what puts a smile on your face?
You know, it's funny because we were talking a little bit before, like we started this, and it's like, honestly, I just don't want to do much. Like it's weird because like everyone is always talking about that hustle season and like you got to put in 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I don't think I'll ever retire, but I want to get to the point where it's 10 to 20 hours a week. And if I choose not to work that day, I don't have to. That's where I want to be. It's the total freedom. And I'm at the point where I'm financially free through all my passive income with my personal bills. As for business bills, I'm not there yet. So I'm trying to get to that point where I have enough cash flow coming in passively to cover any and all expenses to do whatever I want.
So complete financial freedom.
That's it. And then also too, girlfriend, she wants to go travel. So I'm trying to get her to understand just patience a little bit, delayed gratification. But probably the next like 3 to 5 years we'll go around traveling, go Europe.
You're 24, you're young, you got plenty of time.
Absolutely.
Plenty of time.
Do you see yourself ever in the future? Obviously you want to do nothing, but do you ever see yourself maybe getting bored later on and want to switch lanes and jump in a different industry or try something different or challenge yourself in something other than real estate?
Consulting, that's where I'd want to go. It'd be more of when I first was looking into options in high school, I was actually wanting to be like a sports broadcaster. I wanted to go out there and like be the guy announcing all the games and then writing the articles afterwards. So I think it'd be something along the lines of consulting or media, maybe like doing some kind of writing, maybe even writing a book. I don't know, something along those lines.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's I know I've kind of had that thought sometimes. If money's not an issue anymore, and like you know your life, especially. Dude, probably right now you could quit working for like 5 years at least and live completely comfortably. But sometimes I wake up and if I'm not doing stuff for a few days in a row, I just start kind of feeling like a lazy piece of shit and I don't feel good. Yep. Do you ever feel like that, or are you just content? Like, I built this up. I'm chilling.
I think it comes from like the content but not satisfied. So like, if I'm sitting around smoking weed, playing video games all day, every day, no, okay, like that's definitely not the route because you will get burned out. And I don't care what anyone says. Even if you love drawing and you go and you draw all day, every day, you're gonna get burned out at some point.
Too much of anything's not good.
For sure. So I think it comes with balance. And maybe balance isn't even the right word. I've always tried to like have that work-life balance that I've explained. And Brent Daniels actually did a really good job of instilling this in me. He's like, stop trying for balance. There's no such thing. It's harmony. You got to find that at certain points in your life, there's different seasons. You're going to have your highs, you're going to have your lows. You can't be consistent with your highs and your lows all the time. So if you're up here to high, you can't be doing what you normally do at the best level possible. If you're low, you can't be doing it. So I just would honestly try to find different things to do. Every day is different. No 2 days are the same. And that's been my freaking life the last 6 years. So nothing would change with that being content of knowing that everything's okay. I would go out, travel. I would go and drive, go out, try new restaurants, go out and just do what I wanted throughout the day. I think the point of what I'm trying to get to though is that I want to get to that where there's no stress. There's no overwhelming fear of, oh my God, the market just dropped 15% and we are not doing 30 deals anymore. We're going to do 2 to 3 deals a month. Now I know a lot of people in the industry that are freaking out, that are having to adjust, pivot, cut expenses, and change everything that they felt was the best method ever in the last 2 years. Okay, well, I don't like that the market could affect what my mental health is, what my physical actions are, what my freaking money in my bank is. I just want to be able to make it, get what I need to invest in, and then help everybody else get to where they're comfortable. So
yeah, I think there's some pressure that shouldn't be there sometimes too. When people look at you and you're a successful real estate investor, all of a sudden things aren't hitting the same way. I just think that the way social media is and things like that.
Well, and especially if you have a brand. I mean, I'll tell you that that's been the hardest part of like creating agent investors and like becoming somewhat like of a known guy in the industry is like expectations of other people. Like having to go in and be like, oh my gosh, if I'm not working 60 hours this week, they're going to think I'm not grinding or whatever it is that you're worrying about other people's opinions of.
Yeah.
So I just honestly have learned not to care. It sounds really weird and like doom and gloom, but like I don't give a shit.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it eliminates like the keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, this other investors got this new car, whatever the case may be. Oh, dude, he must have closed at least 25 deals a month. There's no way, whatever the case may be.
So-and-so has this. Oh my God, if I had that, I'd be happy. That's like the biggest thing I hear all the time from people like coaching stuff is like comparison all the time. Yeah. And you don't even know what goes on behind closed doors. I mean, this was like an example and it's pretty extreme, but I don't think I've ever shared this on a podcast, but when I was from traditional real estate making the switch over to investment, I didn't know what I didn't know. All I knew is that most people struggled with like contracts and escrow, and I knew that being an agent. What I found through a comparison though was that there was this one person in the office that consistently was like, so-and-so's doing deals, so-and-so's doing deals. And it made me start to realize that every day I was starting to like prepare for what this person was gonna have to say about another person. And then it came out that the person they were comparing to that was crushing it in real estate, their family member died and they got $500,000. So what you don't even realize is that you're comparing yourself to somebody else's situation, thinking that on the outside looking in that they're successful and crushing and doing all these things. But what you didn't realize was one of the variables was something that was extremely tragic, but that person was out there flexing on inheritance. Yeah. That doesn't even fucking matter. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And so I don't know, I put all that to the side. Don't worry about anybody else and just tunnel vision.
I think that's a huge thing in the niche that a lot of people don't understand. And obviously, when you're counting, the phrase is if you're counting someone else's pockets, you know, you're already having issues, obviously, on your own home turf, essentially. Is,
for sure.
You know, if the grass isn't always greener, you don't know what that person's going through, especially in this niche with not only real estate, but on the investing side. You don't know what they actually have going on.
God, no.
You don't know their true happiness. Even if they do have that Lambo, if they do have that successful lifestyle, whatever, you don't understand their happiness. They don't understand, you know, they could genuinely not be happy at all, and you wouldn't want to switch with that person if that was the case.
The amount of times I've actually had situations happen, like I say an amount of times, it's probably like 2 or 3, but like guys that I've looked up to that I'm like, man, you're a role model, and again, take the good, leave the bad, whatever. But the amount of times that they've come back to me and said, if I could go back and trade spots with you, I would. And these are people that have wives, kids, more rental properties than me, what I think is more cash than me, all these things. And I'm like, damn, I'm over here comparing to you, and meanwhile, you're comparing to me. It's a joke of how this whole world works is that you really just don't know, so who cares? Just literally, who cares?
It should just be on your own, focus on your own stuff. Your satisfaction is different than maybe Ricky's satisfaction. Ricky's satisfaction is different than someone else's satisfaction.
Absolutely.
Whatever the case may be, because there's a lot of people that watch this podcast or whatever the case. They're like, I want to get in the entrepreneurial space because, man, if I could just make 10 grand, 20 grand a month, dude, my life would be completely different. That is not necessarily the case.
Right.
Like your lifestyle, what you get happiness from is completely different than someone else's that you may be looking up to or following or, you know,
for sure.
doing. And I think you do a good job of that because you instill like, yo, this is my like laid back personality. This is my style. And being around you a couple times enough to know like, you know, it doesn't matter. That instills like, yo, wait a second. If someone's following you, I need to make sure that, you know, I'm trying to do the same type of thing, not trying to keep up with the Joneses, not trying to get that new car to let everyone know, yo.
That's why my like social media is the way it is. I've done a really bad job recently of posting, but when I was going heavy with Agent Investors launch and everything, it was like 5-6 months straight of like 2-3 posts a day. Yeah. And I'll tell you, the one thing I was trying to lead with was just showing people I'm me. Like what I do is literally nothing special. Yeah. So if you're over here trying to compare and looking up to me, I appreciate that, and from the bottom of my heart, like it gives me so much humility and just fulfillment. But it also wants me to make everybody else better, which is why the way I post is what it is. I don't charge for the things that I know I could charge a lot of money for, and I give away a lot of value for free because I want people to be able to go and understand literally what got me here was just other people. It wasn't one specific event that happened. It wasn't, this setup over here. It wasn't mom and dad's money. I had nothing getting into real estate. It was literally relationships I had to go and form, and it came from no ego and no entitlement. So as long as everybody leads with that too, it's the same philosophy. Like
Yeah.
you are one deal away from changing everything.
Yeah.
Justin brought up a great point talking about happiness. Dude, the amount of people that are over here thinking that, oh, when I get this, I'll be happy. No, what you're doing right now is comparing. What you need to do is just focus on what gets you 1% better every day.
Yeah.
If you really want to go and shoot for the stars, get 2% better every day. That's my little philosophy right now. I told my team that, and that was like our ongoing theme of the meeting the last few weeks is just, I don't want you 1% better. I want you 2% better. Can you get 2% better every day? I promise you, look in 6 months where we were, where the market is and where everybody else is.
Yeah.
We're going in the right direction.
And what I try to tell people sometimes when they message me too, I'm like, don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Amen.
Because,
Heck no.
dude,
Not at all.
so many, like the guru space, it's like, obviously we both have brands. We both are in real estate. We both want to build communities, have things like
Yeah.
that. So we're in it, right? We're not out of it. But the deeper I get into it, the more of the bullshit that I see with a lot of the space. You go to these events and backstage, some people act like they're the fucking man so much just because they're in a room of 500 people and all 500 people know them in that room. But dude, you go out on the street, like you're not like a movie star, bro.
Yeah.
Like no one fucking knows who you are.
No.
You know, you're a big fish in a small pond. And in the guru space, especially in like the shit I learned, you know, I got scammed out of that e-com store by that fucker that we know. So what I learned from that, I made a post about, hey, like business sucks sometimes. Like even me, Ricky, like you think I have it all together. I lost a bunch of money buying this bullshit e-com store.
Yeah.
But what I learned from that was how many other people got scammed, and then how many big names in the guru space are the ones scamming these people that from the outside, some people that I looked up to at one point.
Yeah.
Well, that's the perception is reality. That's where you hit it right in the head about social media. Dude, okay, so I said I was bad at social media. That's literally why I fucking hate it, dude. All the people and everyone's comparison.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is that, like, I know I don't have to post for people to know that I'm still doing what I need to in my life.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, dude. I've been backstages and those things. I can't mention names because a lot of them I'm friends with and stuff, but even people that I'm friends with, the drama and the bullshit and the things that they are like letting eat them alive, it's all other people's opinions.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
So what's the best way to stay straightforward and not care about what other people think?
By understanding that, like, literally what you listen to and what you are surrounding yourself with is what you're going to put out into the world yourself, whether you are subconsciously doing it or you intentionally know what you're doing. Watching this show, if you're watching this, you watch this, you guys don't know how many episodes you've done, just call it like 50.
Like a dozen.
Okay, so 10 plus episodes. If they're watching this, they know you, like they know everybody in this office.
Yeah.
That's the vibe, and that's what they're going to be putting into their brain. So what they're going to be putting out, hopefully action steps, is going to be maybe doing stocks, maybe it's doing real estate, maybe it's doing some kind of investment strategy. Yeah. Most of the people watching this are probably on the younger side. So what they're doing is great. Now what you shouldn't be doing then after this show is hopping onto social media. Oh man, look at that car, double tap. Look at that watch, double tap. Look at that fancy vacation, double, like, stop. You want to get there? Get there. Put in the fucking work. That is the part that I think has made me an asshole to people, is that I'm blunt. Like, it's not that I don't care or that I'm trying to be aggressive. It's that I want people to understand everything I speak on. You will never, ever, ever hear me ever come out of my mouth anything that I haven't gone through myself with an opinion. So if I have an opinion on something, something that I haven't done or experienced, I'm going to say, this is just a speculation. As for opinion, it's things I've actually gone through. Yeah. So when people are like, oh my gosh, I don't have money and this and this and this, I'm like, I had less than $30 to my name with fucking $7,000 a month in overhead the next month due. Yeah. And I had to figure it out. I could have gone crying to my parents and I didn't. I could have gone to friends and figured it out and I didn't. That's not saying those solutions aren't bad, but what you have to do is solve your own problems. 100%. Nobody's going to be there for you other than yourself. And this was a saying that was taught to me again by a mentor, but it's a very famous saying of, like, you die alone. And if you don't understand that, I don't care even if you're married. I don't care about your parents. I don't care about your kids. You die, you're gone. What did you leave behind? Was it jealousy, envy, resentment, ego, entitlement? Or was it passion, legacy, inspiration, fulfillment? There's really two paths. And I think that it all comes back to what you put inside your brain, inside your body, and then more importantly, what you put out into actions. So
I like that.
How do you find, you talk about mentors kind of a lot. I know you've had some ones that you credit a lot of your success to.
Yep.
If you're a young person and you want to find a mentor, whether it's a paid mentor, someone you meet in person, or maybe it's just listening to a podcast and finding a mentor off of YouTube or something like that, right?
Love that.
How do you vet who is the good mentor and who's the one that's selling bullshit e-com stores?
How do you know who's legit out here?
So this is something I go through in my course, and it's really tough because even as I was putting this module in, it's something that you can't even teach. It's situational awareness. Okay, so situational awareness comes from experience. So do more, talk less. That's it. What you got to do is, if you're going to pay for mentorship, you need to make sure the person you're like getting the information from is vetted out. So if it's paying into a mentorship that is anywhere from $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 plus, make sure the person's doing what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I mean, yes, you could always pay for access, and there's a lot of people that will pay the $5,000, $10,000 just to be in that person's world and sphere. I understand that side too. If you're in the position where you can't afford something, don't go get a credit card. Don't go and pull a loan from somebody that you know and say you'll pay them back. Don't bet on yourself. And I hate saying that because that goes against what most people will teach, even these gurus. The reason the gurus won't tell you not to buy the course is because that's where they make most of their fucking money. So I don't need the money. I've got my investments. I'm good. Agent Investors is more of my passion, which is the reason why it's probably doing as well as it is. So
that's the thing. I think this was honestly my first time meeting you. From the outside in, I mean, you're a normal guy. You aren't coming in here all puffy chests and stuff. Where from the outside in, obviously people are gonna be like, this guy's killing it. He's a natural, normal guy. And it's selling your lifestyle pretty much.
I want to be approachable. I don't want to be the guru where I have people that are numbers. Like, that's not where this makes sense. And as for mentorships that you could find for free, it goes back to value. I would tell you, like, the funniest thing that I found at a young age was that I realized that all these people that are older than me, and I don't know when this light bulb went off, there wasn't a specific moment or anything, but I realized that all the people I was asking for help that I thought would just have the answers didn't. So I'm talking friends that were older, family that was older, people that were in the industry that were just at the brokerage office that were around. People, I don't want to say people are dumb, but like people just aren't smart. Like, that's the irony of the whole thing. Like, when you look at people that have money, they're like, oh, the rich gets richer. I'm like, no. If you actually look, in my opinion, the rich is the dumber because like they don't have to do anything by reinventing the wheel. Not everybody's gonna be an Elon Musk that's gonna go and create something that's gonna get us to space. You know, like, you can go in and be a guy like myself that graduated high school with a 1.8 GPA and go make $500,000 a year without trying that hard. It's not always gonna be that simple, and it took me 5-6 years to really figure out what works. But mentorships, fuck, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not in a position where this would work on me, but what got me into these rooms was going and saying, hey, my name is Ryan. I watched your video on 1, 2, 3 over here. I thought the takeaway that I got was this. It was really inspirational for me. It gave me a lot of good information, gave me good insight, whatever you want to say. I just was wondering, what do you need in your business right now? Is it deals? Is it money? Is it somebody to go out and pick up your coffee? Every person and like mentor, whatever you're looking up to, trying to get in, they all need different things. And maybe that's the approach that I'm talking about for me. Like, I don't need somebody to come in and say, I'll work for free for you and call all these leads and do all that. That's what I did when I first started at Keller Williams. I was like, I'll work for pennies on the dollar. I'll call leads. I'll be there for 10, 12 hours a day. I did that so I could take a skill set of cold calling to the guy that was my business partner. He was a mentor of mine first, and I went to him and I was like, hey, I know how to generate leads. I know how to cold call. I know how to basically work these. I want nothing of what you have already, but anything I bring to the table, take 50% of my money. So it took nothing away from him. So I didn't take away his time. I didn't take away his effort. I just brought potential opportunity, and I said, take half my money. So then I went from learning how to cold call and work leads to then going and finding a partner or a mentor that became a partner, and I brought value to him. Then after we were a year of mentor-mentee of doing this at a high level, this is my first year of learning, we were a top team at the brokerage. So then I was like, okay, well, let's go become business partners. Went from mentee, mentor, where I could have told you we had a couple months we made like 30K plus. At 18, 19 years old, I could have walked in and said, listen, bitch, we're partners now. No, hell no. I walked in and I was like, what else do you need from me today? He had me meet him at a coffee shop freaking twice a week, and he wouldn't let me order coffee because coffee's for closers. That's how this guy was literally instilled in my head. I had my dad yelling at me when I come home because I wasn't closing deals, and then I'd have a business partner or a mentor even that had me meet him at coffee shops up until we got going, and then we got our first deal. He ordered me a coffee, and I was like, I'll take a tea, thank you. But
do you think that helped you motivate a little bit? Or?
It's tough love. It doesn't work on everybody, and I don't think it was even what I needed, but I think I needed a reality check. So I think it was a good like fatherly like smack. But
we all need that every once in a while.
Of course, especially at a young age for me.
Yeah.
It's funny. I see it in this office. So we're at Techbuds HQ. Ricky Gutierrez, right? Extremely successful guy.
Sure.
And people, we kind of have an open office. Like if you want to come, say what's up.
Yeah.
It's for the community. So some people, they walk into the office, Chips and Jake, I'm sure you've seen this, and they think they're going to walk in and just get all the answers of how to make millions of dollars. They just think like, oh, okay, I'm going to come in, Ricky Gutierrez is going to be there, and I'm just going to
copy all of his trades, and I'm going to
figure out how to be a millionaire.
Yep.
And then you have other people that come in who actually like are leading with value. I have a deal, I have a car,
Exactly.
I have some type of actual value that they could bring. And I think those are the people that then they get closer in the circle of the people that they want to be around.
That's it.
The dude that's coming in looking for all the answers, though, he usually leaves after being there for 15 minutes.
He's there for a week, if that, made a couple calls and nothing came of it, and he's like, this doesn't work.
Or he's there for 15 minutes and he leaves understanding like, dude, there's no secrets. It's about, you got to put in the work.
True.
Like, what the fuck do you want to say?
One thing that's
you want to tell us
me?
like to buy Tesla or not?
Yeah.
Like, what were you expecting to learn here?
Right.
Yeah, that guy we had come in the other day, don't want to really say his name or where he's from, but he flew in here, far flight, just to see Ricky. Messaged him and said he only wants to see for 5 minutes. Came in here, the guy knew nothing about trading.
Well,
just came in here, want to talk to Ricky, and Ricky's like, I don't know what you're wanting to get out of this, because you don't know, like, you have to put in the work and then come in here.
That's it.
And then obviously,
well, and
yeah, and he didn't watch.
and the thing is, like you said, when you get into the rooms, once you start connecting pieces, the magic happens. Like when I was on that team, I left after 4 months, but I took a skill away from that. I went and I had the mentor. After a year, we became business partners. That's all because of value that was provided to me, but I also reciprocated in action that I said I would. That's the other thing, and this is why most gurus get all pissed off, is that they get the DMs and the messages and stuff, and people are like, I want all this information, and then you're like, oh, you wanted me just to stop everything I was doing to help you, and then I could pour everything into you, but then the odds are that person probably won't even do anything with the information anyway. That's been the hardest struggle of the investment space or the education space for me, is knowing that 90% of the people that you give information to do nothing with it. Out of the 10% that do something with it, 5% will actually like understand it. Maybe 1 to 2% will actually be successful.
Damn.
So
100%. We see it all the time here. You got to put in the work.
That's it. It's for anything. You got to put in the reps. Anything.
100%.
Yeah, like I sent out a list. I was like, anyone that wants to DM me, I'll shoot you a pre-foreclosure list. And then go knock doors. I've sent that list out to 10 people.
Nothing.
I don't know. Like who? I wonder how many of them. Okay, now they got the list.
Actually went out.
So I actually responded. I actually emailed them the list. They probably thought that wasn't even going to happen in the first place.
Sure.
But now they have the list. I'm like, dude, there's no secrets here. Go knock on the fucking doors, and if someone wants to sell, give me a call or give someone else a call that buys.
I haven't figured that one out. Like, if what holds people back? I don't know. Like, I've gotten into like this rabbit hole a few times. Like, this is where you ask what else I do. I journal and I'll sit back and I try to study people. I like to see patterns and like what human behavior is. And in that case, dude, I can't figure out what kind of personality like is the one that actually wins. You know, like, I was going somewhere then I lost it.
That was a good like.
No,
thought,
like I think you've met a lot of successful people, and you come across, what defines a successful person.
Sure.
And I wonder too, it's not always the smartest person. It's not always
it's a person that
the hardest working person. Like it's hard to define when you meet someone, like who has it. But some people, like when I first met you, you were what, 20 years old, 19?
Dude, I was scared. I was so scared.
Like you were like a scared 19, 20-year-old. Like he wasn't.
I was a traditional agent transitioning to the investment space, and I was like, I know how to be a realtor-ish, and I'm still not a good one.
But there was something about you that I saw and knew, like this kid's gonna go somewhere. He's gonna do something.
One thing I think consistency is key. One of the biggest things. All my friends that are successful and stuff, it's because they're consistent. They've been putting in the work every single day.
Sure.
Like YouTube, for example, the biggest way to grow back in the day was daily vlogs, you know? If you daily vlogged every day, it's a lot of work. Making a video, uploading it that night for the next day, those people are the ones that blew up, and now they have that laid back lifestyle to where they can, upload once a week, whatever.
And consistency is key, I think, 100%, as long as you're doing the right action.
Yeah.
That's the only catch.
100%.
And I remember my point now. So where I was trying to say, like, the successful people, the thing that I think holds people back is that I don't know if they're scared of failing or if they're actually subconsciously scared they might succeed. And I don't know, like, I could tell you, I'll speak on the succeed side because, like, I always said, man, I'm struggling with this, and this. And I was honestly holding myself back by saying, I didn't have the right systems and processes. I didn't have the right organization. I didn't have the right day routine or whatever the excuse was of the day. What I realized was that organization, my girlfriend, transaction coordinator, she handles 99% of my life now.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Systems and processes. We have people on the team that have built out systems and processes, people that are much better than me at that. Routine, that's up to me. That is me versus me every single day. But the minute I started connecting those pieces, what happened? I blew up. I was so scared of fail. Like, I said it was failing, but I think that it was actually holding me back from succeeding.
Yeah.
And I was like, was I scared of failure? Was I scared of success? What exactly was it? And I think it might have been a mix of both, but I think a lot of people actually get held back just because of the fear, whether it's success or failure.
That's what I was gonna say. I think fear is a lot of it. Like, even embarrassment. People don't want to go knock on the door and say, "What are you doing? I'm not. My house isn't for sale." Like, even that, like, embarrassment, I think is a huge factor.
Rejection is never fun, dude. I mean, it's the mind fuckery of this business, and any type of sales job, especially like when you start going in. I'd even say maybe on the stock side too, where you don't see instant success. The mind fuckery comes from you feel like your wheels are turning and you don't see the result. Where people need to understand the long game. Start with one, knock on one door, have one conversation, send one offer, call one person, whatever it is. Start with one. Then build the pattern, and then understand Rome wasn't built in a day. From there, I've been saying this is like a third, fourth time now, but 4 years is like 4 or 5 years right when I started connecting and blowing up. Most people don't have patience for 4 or 5 years of the grit, the grind, the hustle, everything to then get to this. While I was saying like, I don't have to work like that crazy hard. Dude, I mean, when I first started 60, 70, 80 hour weeks as a realtor, when I first became an investment, on the switch over to the investment side, when I first like even met Ricky, dude, I was in every mastermind possible. I was in every room, every meetup, everything. I was trying to just be a sponge, absorb as much information as possible. And this is where I got the buffet like analogy that I always talk about of take the good, leave the bad. I mean, I got in rooms where I saw guys that went from nothing to $100 million net worth. And, I think they're a shitty human being. I've seen people go from $10 million net worth to losing it all, cheating on the wife after they had made it. Like I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. So you got to take the good, leave the bad, be consistent with the right action steps, and then it happens as you put in the work.
So you're a mentor now, pretty much, correct? So how does it feel? I'm sure a lot of your students are way older than you.
Absolutely.
Does that feel weird?
No. I'm at a point now where I tell people as a joke, I'm 24 going on 50. I think what I've been able to accomplish in the 6 years and really even just the last 2 years of success has been like almost just awareness. This is the situational awareness, but this is also the awareness that when people are coming and asking for help, it's because I have something that I know they want too. And I'm not the guy being like, I have your keys to the castle, pay up. I'm not going to give you everything away for free, but I'm more than generous with my time. I do meetups for free every single month where people can come out. People usually fly out. We get a couple people every month that fly out to come and attend. So I would just say that definitely got weird vibes with it, but as time has gone on, it's made me realize
they're reaching out to you for a reason.
They're reaching out to me for a reason. So it was actually more of a struggle when I was younger. In 18, 19, I had like 20 plus agents working for me. Because that was when I was telling them what to do with their day, what to do with their time. They were like, I've got families, I've got this, I've got that, I've got my weekends, and completely different. But mentor side, it's fun. That's what I call myself more, is a mentor rather than a guru. Because guru, I think like, one, I don't like the
kind of means you know it all, huh?
That's the vibe I get. I don't like the word. I think that it comes across like as if you made it. And I don't think anybody in any industry has truly made it. Regardless, I mean, even to Tom Brady, this is a fucking far stretch example. But this dude clearly is the greatest of all time to play football. There's something he could do better. Look what just happened. He lost a fucking wife that makes more money than him. That's a fucking model.
Right.
That's work-life harmony not working out too well. That's one priority over the other. So in that instance, he may have been the best at his job, but he wasn't the best at his balance and his harmony. That's something that I would say he could even work on. I don't think that people would go in and say, people could very well call Tom Brady a guru at football. But what I would say is that he'd probably go in, and I obviously don't know Tom Brady, but I feel like you could go in, he'd be more the guy that says, I'm a friend. I'm a mentor. I'm the guy that can be the one that I guarantee you he's done playing. He's going to be a coach. He's going to be something involved in the league, a sports broadcaster, something where he takes his level to the next game to where he can share his experience and his knowledge just with everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I look at it as a mentor, is that I could share my experiences, I could share my knowledge, and more importantly, I'm confident as a mentor in what I teach. Because there is not anybody, especially, I'll say this at least boldly, Arizona, there is nobody out here that will do MLS and work with agents better than me. And that's bold saying because it's in Arizona.
Yeah.
As for a country, if there's somebody else that is better than me, I'm going to give them a run for their money and be pretty close to.
I like that.
I think one of the best things a mentor could really do, it's not necessarily like the skill set or, you know, I'm teaching you X, Y, and Z. It's more so the encouragement and just giving people that belief, like you can do this. And sometimes that is like just, you know, being a normal person and saying, yeah, I don't have all the answers, but look, I figured it out.
Sure.
And then them understanding like, oh shit, Ryan is kind of a normal person.
They appreciate that a lot more.
There's no secret that I thought I was coming in to learn the secret, but what I really learned is, you know, I just needed a little kick in the ass of, dude, go out and do it.
That's where the mentorships make the most sense. And I think like the paid ones specifically, sometimes it's the information you don't even care about or need. It's the friend. You need that person that's going to hold you accountable, give you the X, Y, and Z playbook. It's up to you to do it, but now I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to get there together. Oh, you're not going to show up to the calls on whatever day during the week for coaching? Okay, well, now I'm making a mental note. You're not as committed as I thought you were.
Sure.
So then you can call them out, and then it's up to them to change it.
I like that.
And I think when they finally do take that action and they have that deal that they're ready to pull the trigger on, it's sometimes just you being like, yeah, bro, do it.
Do it. Go for it. Absolutely. I love it. That's basically where my headspace is at. That's where everything we're building and growing and forming all of our direction to. Yeah. It's around the community. It's finding ways just to provide value and just be there for everyone.
I love it. Excited to see it grow even more.
Appreciate it.
Anything else, Ricky?
Nah, dude. I would say if looking at just your life over, I know you said you kind of want to travel in the next couple years. Yeah. You talked about maybe getting a new house, maybe some watches. Like, do you see yourself, what's the biggest thing you want in your life in, let's say, like the next 6 to 12 months from outside of business?
Mm-hmm. So can it be a house or no?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I would say, okay, even 6 months is tough for a house. Probably 12 to 18 months, maybe a new house, a little bit bigger, a little bit more space. But I'm not really sold on that one yet. I've always struggled when people ask like, what's the vision or what's like the goal? Because overall it's financial freedom, like what I think most people want. But as for identifying one or two things, very like nicely, I'll put it, I don't need anything. I don't know. I don't want anything. I don't really have much desire other than just watching the people around me succeed. So I would say a goal that's not even like something tangible. It's more of just being a better person. I want to be just the person like we can all hang out and go out and just have dinner and drinks and have a good time, good experience, maybe travel with some friends. But maybe that's it. Experience, some kind of experience.
Yeah, dude. I love, like we were talking about, a lot of people in the real estate space recently I stay away from, but I always like to just hit you up just to
appreciate that.
Because like it's like a friend, dude. It's not like a lot of the
be friends first. Business happens after. And
yeah, totally.
As long as everybody has a win-win scenario, like there should be no ego, no entitlement.
Yeah, I think that's what's worked so well with us here is because we all were friends first, and then we obviously have gone all these business routes and everything else. But yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you for having me on today. I appreciate you guys and such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Ryan. Till next time, guys.
Peace out.